The cat who slept on a stranger's grave every night. In a quiet countryside village, nestled behind ivy-covered walls, lay an old cemetery that few people visited anymore. It was the kind of place where time stood still, where names on headstones faded and stories were forgotten. But something unusual began to happen. Each night, just as the moon rose and cast its silver light over the tombstones, a lone black cat would slip through the cemetery gates. Silently, it would pad across the gravel path, weave between the graves, and make its way to one, always the same one. It was an unremarkable grave. No flowers, no candles, just a plain stone etched with a woman's name and 2 dates. The woman had no family left, no visitors. Not a soul came by, except the cat. At first, the villagers thought nothing of it. A stray cat, they said, just finding a warm spot to sleep. But days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Rain or shine, cold winds or snow, the cat returned, every single night. It didn't just sleep there. It curled up tightly, pressing its small body against the cold stone, as if protecting something sacred. Sometimes, it brought little offerings, a fallen leaf, a flower petal, a feather, and placed them gently on the grave. The old cemetery caretaker, curious and moved, looked up the records. The woman buried there had died many years ago. She had no children, no relatives, no mention of pets. But a villager remembered something. She used to feed the strays years ago, sat on that same bench every afternoon, calling them with the softest voice. And then, it all made sense. Maybe this cat had once been one of her strays. Maybe it had wandered far and wide, only to return, drawn by something stronger than instinct. Maybe it didn't need a reason. Maybe it was just love, the kind that doesn't need words. One night, during a terrible storm, a family tried to take the cat home. They wrapped it in a warm blanket, fed it, and gave it a place to sleep. But by midnight, it was gone. And there it was again, soaked, shivering, curled up on the grave as if it had never left. Over time, people began to leave flowers. They lit candles. They stopped and stood in silence. And through it all, the cat stayed, watching, waiting, remembering. Some say it was grief, others say it was gratitude, but most believe it was love, pure, unbreakable love, that brought a black cat to sleep on a stranger's grave every single night, forever.